I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We move on now to page 16 of the Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory workbook, moving to chapter 3 and the topic of pitch. And we start off by looking at the alto clef. Now the alto clef's perhaps quite a rare breed because it's only really the viola that uses this clef. And if we think about why we would need this clef, because imagine if we just peep at the piano keyboard. So we have the treble for high instruments and the bass for low instruments. And so imagine if you'd only got treble clef and you just kept getting lower and lower and lower and lower, then you're going to need loads and loads of ledger lines. You know, it just gets silly as you get further down there. And then imagine you'd only got bass clef, and so as we got higher and higher and higher, instead of swapping to treble clef, we just keep on having to add ledger lines, and it just gets, you know, unreadable. However, there are some instruments, in this case the viola perhaps, where we don't really stay in either one or the other. We're always kind of in this mid register. So if we were in either treble or bass, we'd always be switching over to lots of ledger lines one way or another. And so the alto clef sort of caters for this middle range here. And if you remember way back from grade 1, the treble clef was also referred to as the G clef, and it would have looked something like this, but would have been positioned on this line. And then the bass clef was also referred to as the F clef, and it would have been kind of based around this line. And so here, this is our middle C now. And so you can see we've got a nice middle starting point to go up and down from without needing to worry about ledger lines all of the time. And so it might seem a little strange to us if we don't play this instrument, and up until now we've only ever used treble and bass clef. But now if you're a viola player, this is your moment, because finally you can work in a clef that you're comfortable with. And so perhaps if it's not an instrument that you play, it won't ever feel completely natural. However, it's very easy to work out. So long as you remember that this is middle C, it's very easy to just take it from there. And as you're not going to be required to actually perform using this clef, it's okay to take your time to just work it out really and just count the steps. And so we can see how, you know, if we sort of in the bass clef and get reasonably high, it's not terribly high, you're going to be in ledger lines. And if you're in the treble clef and you start to get reasonably low, then, you know, we're going to be in ledger lines again, whereas here, no ledger lines and it's all nice and comfortable. So if we just name these letter names, so here's middle C for all of them. So stepping up, regardless of what clef, the next note is D, then it's E, then it's F. And so that's C, D, E, F, all exactly the same pitch, the same range, the same register. So there's middle C in the bass clef, and we're getting quite high in the bass clef now. And then if we work backwards, we know it's C, B, A, G. So we're getting quite low in the treble clef, ledger lines, but we're still reasonably comfortable in the alto clef, and we've got way to go in the bass clef, which deals predominantly with lower notes, doesn't it? And so, you know, it's just about working it out from middle C. Keep middle C as your reference point. So just go ahead and have a go at naming these notes. Of course, you could refer to this as a little bit of a help, but to be honest, you just work it out and count the steps. So I'm hoping that you've had a little go of this. And so if this is middle C, one step lower is B. If that's C, C, D, E. We're always counting line, space, line, next door notes. So C, D, E. So if that's C, B, A. And then here, now it starts getting a little bit tricky counting in steps. So you could do that. You could count backwards. C, B, A, G, F, E, D. Or if you wanted to, you could just think, well, I'm going to just jump it the octave because I can find it next to middle C easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It takes you to the D above middle C, but we're an octave out. Either way, we know that that's a D. And so if that one's D, surely one above that is E. And then if that's middle C, here's D. And we can check between these two notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, an octave, so we know we're correct. So there's lots of ways we can double check against notes we've done, and then we can always refer back to middle C as well. So let's continue. So if this is middle C, that's C, B, A, line, space, line. That's middle C. C, D, E. And then down a step is D. Well, I think we've aced that one. Do excuse me. Pardon the pun. However, I progress on. So C, D, E, F. And so let's continue. If that's F, G, A. If that's A, B, C. Now let's just think. If that's C, let's count down an octave. 1, counting space, line, space. Remember, you always count the first as the given note is the first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It does indeed take us to C an octave higher. So there we go. So if that's C, D, E, that's E. And then down one step from E is D. And then finally, let's try this last exercise. So if that's C, we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can see that's C an octave higher than middle C. C, B, A. One up from A is B. Now it's easy once we get close to middle C again. If that's C, then that is B. Now let's see, pardon the pun, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, that's an octave apart. So we can see we've got two B's an octave apart. If that's a B, one step lower is A. Then one step lower is G. G, F, E, cabbage. Yummy. And that's that page completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee. And for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.